All right, guys. As I usually say during my videos on Juve Therapy, good morning, good evening, or even good day to all Juventini around the world. If you're here for the very, very first time, we are welcoming you with our open arms. And please say hi in our chat on the right side of your screen. First, a little bit of promotion. So, La Panchina, this is the place where you are right now. It's a very new channel, and I'm happy to share it with my good friend Alberto. At least on the screen, he is below me. I don't know how it looks like back at your place, but it is what it is. So we have previously done watch parties on this channel, but there will be more to come next season. Don't you worry. If you don't know this already, my name is Roman, and I run a channel called Juve Therapy. It is Juventus 100% authentic from the heart. So please have a look and press that subscribe button. Now, Alberto, below me, as I said, other half of the La Panchina, great guy, runs another Juve-only YouTube channel, as well as a great, great podcast, all Juvecast. Al, welcome.
Yeah, it's awesome to be back on La Panchina. We've got also the return leg of the Champions League with Lyon coming up.
Oh, yes, we do.
So make sure everybody stays tuned for that watch party.
Yeah, for sure. That will be awesome. And today we are joined by two upstanding Juventini. Well, at least I think they are, who are no strangers to La Panchina. Our good friends Graham and Aubert. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Happy to be on, guys.
And before we fasten our seatbelts and lift off, there are some topics that we need to discuss anyway, besides all the Q&A that will be for sure coming on a bit later. So we start with the most important matter at hand, which is the Lyon game on Friday. We're going to discuss that a little bit. What are our thoughts before and what are the consequences of the result that will be on Friday? And then we do, the post-Champions League, what do we do? What has to be done? What probably will be done? And then we just take the Q&A with our friends in the chat. So, guys, let's kick it off. First of all, what's next for Juve? So first off is Juve against Lyon on Friday.
Yeah. Well,
that's what's next.
Yeah, who wants to kick that one off? Because same thing as all year for me. Like, what Juve is going to show up? Can we gauge the way we finished off the season? I mean, you had a complacent team. We've been complacent for well over a season and a half. You had a complacent team that pretty much had the league in the bag. So naturally, I expected nothing out of these last few matches. But should we use that as a measuring stick going into against Lyon? I don't know. A lot of people had this confidence because Lyon hasn't been playing for a while. But I kind of watched that match against PSG. They look pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still. We talked about this on one of my podcasts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident am I? I'm about still between 5 and 6 out of 10. Like, I don't know, but what are you guys thinking?
It's a 4 or a 5 for me. I've avoided watching any Lyon games or keeping up to date with them for my own sanity, because I just keep going back to that first leg, and I know so much has changed since that game, but we were absolutely shocking in that game. I don't think we even hit the target in 90 minutes in a Champions League knockout game. And when you've been watching these league games, and I completely understand that we're playing games every 3-4 days, so it's not ideal and it's not perfect. But when I look at other teams, I've been watching like a little bit of the Bundesliga, a little bit of the Premier League, and a little bit of La Liga as well. And the majority of those teams look like they dealt with COVID and the congested fixtures a hell of a lot better than Juventus. So that's what's my main worry is, because I mean, we've been watching the Juventus games and they haven't looked convincing at all. Maybe 2 games since the restart, and now we've got to go into a Champions League knockout game. I think it's on Friday, so you're talking 4 days' time. So I'm really going to be surprised if there's a dramatic change from what we've been seeing to the Lyon game.
Yeah, I think. Listen, guys. I think the fact is that we can scratch the Roma game off, the Cagliari game off. I think. I mean, my biggest woeful kind of gripe about those two games was about the form, carrying form into the game, right? So if we were on a winning streak, what I meant by is that at least we have that winning form, But Champions League is an altogether different beast to Serie A. We knew Serie A was wrapped up. That goal that Lyon scored, remember that when De Ligt went off injured and then came back on, but that was too late. They scored. Hoping, great news that this morning Dybala is saying he might be fit and ready to play for the Lyon game. So Dybala in, Ronaldo's Champions League, Mr. Champions League. De Ligt in. Demiral looked a bit tasty against Roma, a couple of last-ditch saves, but most likely De Ligt and Bonucci is in there. So, look, I'm confidence level. I'm 50-50. It's really key for the first 15 minutes of the game. If we really hit the traps out, really hard and fast, and really understand we are still 1-0 down, and we're not, we can't be coasting and then start switching the game on in 70th minute, then I think we look good to go. And we should beat them. Lyon, I know they looked good against PSG, but look, we've got more match practice or match fitness under our belts. We should beat them.
But remember one thing though. If I mentioned it last time we spoke, we do have a tendency of conceding. So if we do concede, we need 3.
Yeah.
And then this is the case. I mean, we can win the game, but it's not enough just to win. We need actually to score enough to progress, and that's my main worry. What are we going to do if we concede?
Yeah, and I mean, Jesus, Bonucci's been on a downhill spiral here for a while. De Ligt will be in there. I have no issues with him, but just overall, everybody has just been so abysmal. And like I said, the Scudetto was wrapped up. So is it just kind of, is it just them being complacent? The season's over. It is what it is. Ride it out. I don't know. We just, again, even when we were at our best, everybody kind of got pumped up because we had that string of 3 good matches, including that romp in the Derby della Mola there. But it still was not a team performance, especially in the final third. So we're going against Lyon. And again, I believe they have Depay back as well, Memphis Depay. So the thing is, we have to score. We know we don't even look that strong as a team in the final third against teams that play a pretty open match against us. But teams that park the bus, holy shit, that's a different story. That's even worse for us. So yeah, that concern about Lyon finding one, it's a scary one to think, because I don't think my confidence level is there if they get one, if they find one. No,
that's the thing, right? So Lyon, I'm not a tactician, but as a long life football fan, Lyon's strategy most likely will be sit back, let Juve come, and we hit them on the counter, hit them hard and hit them fast. They've seen our games, they know what to do with us, So that's
Rudy Garcia, man. Rudy Garcia is a mastermind,
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Juventus, Trinity. So what a twat that one. Jesus Christ. But anyway, my point is, guys, and Sari, seriously, this is the thing about what we kept saying, Roman, as well, time and again, is about game management. If he sees Lyon sitting back and waiting to hit us on that, and remember Depay is back fit, right? So he's back, he's got the pace, right? And the fact is, if he can see that happening, we need to really be clever about it. You can't have Cuadrado bombing down the right flank and leaving exposed for De Ligt to play the right back. You can't have Sandro running on the front and not tracking back. It really needs to be a game where he's expecting us to hit, right? Because I said, listen, we can park the bus. 1-0, you guys come for it. Give us all you've got. Come for it. And we'll hit you back. And that's how they're going to play. They are a stupid team if they go and attack us. They will be stupid because then they leave themselves exposed at the back, right? So they'll do a Chelsea. 1-0, park the bus, come and give it all what you've got. And that's how I see they're going to play it.
Just before we move forward, we're going to say hi to the guys in the chat. So, Daniel, aka Juventinita. He has another great podcast, Juve podcast. So he is in there. Ciao, Daniel.
He
David.
also just commented hash for Prez.
Yes, he did.
I think everyone knows today. I personally been on a rampage on unfollow Hashim.
Oh man, that's gold. That's gold.
That's lovely. That's lovely. David Gaming is also there. Hi to you. And of course, RB Comms is always present. Nice to see you. Please stay with us. And also, go ahead, ask us anything, basically. Well, Juve related. I'm not gonna do all the private matters, but we're gonna talk Juve tonight. So, what happens, guys, if we progress? Is it good for us? I mean, obviously it is, but I'm thinking about the injuries to, for example, De Ligt. If we do progress, and the fitness issues, we are shortening this off-season period, because if we get eliminated, our off-season period will be slightly longer, because the next season are starting. When was it, Graham? 12th?
Yeah, I believe it was it was at some point in September anyway, but you're not going to get a large gap for a break between the Champions League finish and the final and Serie A season beginning. So that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, they've got it slated for August 23rd or something like that, I believe. Champions League. So it's roughly around then. So I mean, is it good for us? I mean, well,
here's a question for everyone. Do we get knocked out by Lyon, call the raps, and not get embarrassed in the quarterfinals or semi-finals, or even the final possibly, and save the players, save the rest, because the season Serie A kicks off on the 1st of September? Or go guns ho and we go towards the final and just push to the final, and especially the quarterfinals and semi-finals being a one-off game. This has, I'm not saying we're going to do it, but this has written in the stars, classic Juve, one-off games, quarterfinals, semi-finals, scrape through, final in an empty stadium, and they do it. Classic Juve.
I don't know, man. It's just, again, what Juventus is going to show up. It changes not only from match to match, but half to half. It's crazy. What concerns me is, I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but this last little stretch here where it's been really tough to watch, we have absolutely no press whatsoever. Sarri has gone to this 4-4-2. Okay. He's played them out more as a 4-4-2. And what it's done is actually made the press useless, completely useless to Juve. So whoever was playing on that wing, whether it be Bernardeschi, whoever the hell you put on there, when we shape it up as a 4-4-2 in that shell, it takes that person far too long to get up there to actually muster any kind of pressure and keep those forwards in line with the other defenders and make it a little bit harder, create those turnovers for Juve so that we can act on them. They haven't been doing that since they've been in this 4-4-2. Instead, the forwards, whether it be Dybala or Ronaldo, try to slide over, and then it creates this easy switch of play for our opposition, and then they can run at us. So our press has been non-existent since Sarri has gone to more of this 4-4-2 thing. And I guess he probably did it to try and stop the leaking of goals, but the Rugani effect can't be countered, everybody. So when that guy's on the pitch, goals are leaking. It's going to happen. So I'm concerned if he wants to keep going with this, kind of 4-4-2 thing. Oh man, I just don't see it working. It also rendered the one thing Bernardeschi could actually do great for us, which is get in behind the defense, keep the defensive line back, give those other guys space and build up and actually press, and we could try the odd through ball or over the top ball. It got rid of that completely. So we lost that aspect of our game by him doing that as well. So I don't know if we're going to play like that. We're going to have a long day against Lyon, and it's going to be tough, whoever we get in the next one too. But I don't know. Daniel seems to say as long as we get the perennial bottlers Man City there, we'll be fine.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about the Lyon game, my main concern is we've all seen the way Juventus play. They play slow. and they just pass it around each other and they don't penetrate the defence. And they're very vulnerable to a counter-attack. If a team has enough pace, they can really hurt us on the counter. And I can see Leon doing that, like Albert mentioned earlier. Leon will probably sit back, they'll sit tight, and then as soon as they see an opening, they're just going to go for it and hit us, and they could possibly hit us hard. So I'm concerned about the clean sheet. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet because, I mean, De Ligt's got the shoulder issues. Maybe it'll be completely 100% for the Leon game. Doubtful, but you never know. Chiellini, Demiral, they've just come back from injuries, so they're going to be rusty anyway. And don't even get me started on Regani. Don't get me started on him. So, it's really weird to say this. When it comes to the Champions League as a Juventus fan, I've completely lowered my expectations for this tournament. I will be satisfied if we reach the quarterfinals, because getting knocked out in the round of 16 to Lyon, no offence to French football or Lyon fans, that's unacceptable for Juventus. This is a team that's supposed to be challenging for the Champions League. We signed Ronaldo, we've got Dybala, we've got the best young defender in football, De Ligt, and then we get knocked out in the round of 16 by Lyon. Nah, not having it.
Yeah.
Before I go, I was starting to worry about this comment right here.
Regani.
And then he wrote this one.
Yeah.
You saved yourself, Tommy, there for that one.
Yeah, we got Z joining us too, saying praying to hear good news about Dybala. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would change my confidence level a bit for sure.
But that's a good question, actually. Let's discuss this a little bit, because I'm wondering why. We had this question from Twitter. I will ask the question a bit later. But why are we so dependent on Dybala coming back?
He makes everybody else better and involved. It's simply put. Whereas the others, not taking anything away from Cristiano and guys like Costa and whatnot, but it's different with Dybala. Dybala involves everybody. The way he controls our play, the way he switches field for us, the way he is right now our main source of creation.
Yeah.
Like as a team play goes, he always nails the true progression of where the ball needs to go, where it needs to move to. He can play 1-2s off of people. He's critical for our play. So if we're gonna get multiple goals out of this one, I'd feel a hell of a lot more confident if he's in the lineup than if he's not. That's just me. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah.
I mean, even one of the shares comments about the Atletico performance, which Z went to that game, fortunately enough. Are we asking Ronaldo to do the same, doing a hat trick of a goal, a hat trick of a night? Look, to Graham's point, if we concede, we bloody need Ronaldo to score. We do, obviously, but I think that's the tricky, isn't it? That's the tricky balance, right? We have to go out there and score 2 goals to get through, but we can't concede. And the moment we concede, we'll have to get that 3rd goal. And that's the thing. So listen, to have someone in our team in this competition, I know he's olderish, but Ronaldo is the man. He can do the job. I always call him Mr. Champions League, right? Because he is Mr. Champion. He performs on the night. So, so with Dybala, back to your point, Roman, I think he's the one that links up play, brings the ball in. It gets worrying when you see him playing too deep, but he drags in the player, calls in the free kick. Attracts that free kick in, the penalty. All those different one shimmy football he plays. It's what we need, It's and I'm hoping he will turn up. I hope he turns up on Friday night.
Graham, there is a comment from RB Combs right there. You guys have to remember, Lyon haven't played in 4 months.
Yeah, but that could go either way. It's when you look at that, so Lyon have had 4 months of being fresh, basically. They've no injuries. I mean, Depay's been able to come back from an injury. I mean, I remember before we had that long break, for obvious reasons, we were all happy that Depay wasn't going to play because he's one of their key players. So they're going to have him back and they're going to be fresh. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, we've got match fitness. We've been playing actual competitive football. But again, we've been playing 3 or 4 games every week. So that's affected our team badly as well. I mean, I mentioned it earlier about De Ligt's shoulder practically hanging off him. And we've had Dybala. Dybala's injured. Hopefully he will be back. We've had Chiellini injured, Demiral injured. Injuries have been our it's been the real worst part for us, basically. That's what's been hurting us. And I don't think Leon have got any injuries. But if they're really rusty, which I hope they are, then we need to take advantage of that. And we need to actually just put them under pressure, press them, and just try and actually attack them. I can't see Juventus doing that. It's just not the way we play recently.
Just so you guys know, and I'm not confirming this or saying this is breaking news or exclusive news, but I can tell you one thing for sure is that as a Juve fan, it's not in Juventus' style to sack managers after winning trophies. In the sense, if we lose to Lyon on Friday night, guys, Sarri won't be sacked. He won't be sacked.
I see these coming up on the comments here.
And I'll tell you why, because look, they're going into the market, Artur, Kulusevski, they're trying to get these players who are going to play the so-called Sarri ball, right? And it depends what happens in this calcio mercato in the next coming weeks. I just, in my personal opinion, I cannot see Juve. He's delivered the 9th Scudetto for us, right? The so-called, and remember what Neville said at the beginning, this is not a transition period. We are to deliver trophies. He delivered one, right? So I'll be honest with you, I cannot see them sacking him after Friday night. If we go out dismally, it is what it is, but I just cannot see them. And by the way, if they do sack him, who'd you bring in? Now, Pep's not going anywhere because Man City have got away with murder, going back into Champions League football, a bunch of plastic twats. And then you've got what? Zidane? Zidane's not going anywhere. They're building a new project at Madrid. So and people talk about Pochettino, okay, Torino linked and blah blah blah. But again, guys, he's done fantastic with Tottenham with a very low budget and with the team he did, but he didn't win anything. He didn't win any trophies. So, and
he spent a lot of seasons there as well. He didn't do very well in the first season, yeah.
A lot of seasons. He did well at Southampton, got them to Tottenham. So, guys, my biggest thing is that I know a lot of people commenting about Sarri needs to go, but I just can't see him going. I
can't see it either. Do I think it's right? That's a whole nother story. I mean, I get it. I get it when people talk about our roster. I've talked about our roster. That's just not where it needs to be. But at the same time, 0 influence out of this guy. Like, I don't know. What the most frustrating part is the lack of adaptability and flexibility through matches and just being able to manage scenarios. It's just literally like, here you go. This is all I have. And fucking lives or dies by it, right?
Listen, I can't help, but I'm going to bite you. Shears just said that Conte will come back. Listen, I'll give you my left nut if he comes back to Juventus. It's not happening, guys. I mean, Conte did nothing for us at European football. He did nothing for Chelsea. He did nothing for Merda. Honestly, guys, listen, he's a great coach. He's the type of coach you want in the dressing locker room, in the locker room, busting balls, chopping. So, guys, you've got to improve and biting and blah, 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 blah. But he hasn't delivered on European standards. Guys.
He's a good motivator.
Yeah, but that's it.
This is what exactly Sarri isn't. That's why. So that's.
I know that, but guys, Conte. Look, whatever. Listen, people forget. What was it? The last day before the season started, he decided to pack his bags and piss off middle of training. I mean, what was that about? And now
suddenly Shear reverses his comment and says, "Both Tony won't be back."
Okay. I'll take it back.
He said he was kidding.
I'll take my left track back then. Don't worry.
But going back to good one, guys. Going back to Mr. Medical right there. Daniel joined us. He always has great stuff about the situation with the players' injuries and the status of their health and whatnot. Introducing Dybala in the starting lineup is a huge risk, he says. He should play max 30 minutes to give him time to recuperate. Graham, back to you. If we start with Higuain, which will be the obvious choice if Dybala isn't there, what are the consequences?
Well, first of all, Higuain doesn't work as well with Ronaldo as Dybala does. Dybala and Ronaldo have really gelled together this season. I think that's why Ronaldo's been hitting the net so often, because Dybala's just been complimenting him and assisting him. Because Dybala does all the work. Dybala's the one that does all the running, the tracking back and getting the ball and actually passing it. I don't see Higuain doing that as much. And the games that we've been seeing Higuain, he just looks off. I don't know what it is, if it's match fitness or if his head's not in the game. I just don't understand it. And I get it. I get that it's a risk to bring any player back too early when they've been injured. But it's a Champions League game. It's a must-win game. We can't get knocked out in the round of 16. At the very least, we need to just throw everything at this. And I understand that next season's going to come really fast. I mean, it's pretty much a month away, more or less. But you got to concentrate in the Champions League right now. I mean, it could be our best chance of winning it in so long. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's no second legs. It's a straight knockout. It's like it used to be back in, I can't remember, maybe it was the 80s or whatever it was, when it literally was a Champions Cup. So maybe that'll work in our favour. I just think if you want to win these type of games, you got to play your best players that are available. And if Dybala's available and he's at a decent percentage, then I would say risk him.
Yeah, the thing is, to that point, very quickly, if the tie on the other end was 0-0 or we were winning 1-0, I agree with Daniel, probably set him out, Dybala. And if the game was swinging to a negative trajectory, then bring him on. But unfortunately, guys, 1-0 down, we need him, you know?
Yeah.
Even he's got one leg, he's better than having nothing on him, to be honest with you. We need him. Got no choice. But yeah, it's a huge risk. Because can you imagine 20 minutes in the game and boom, he has to go off? Well, that's a waste of time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then again, quick turnaround on the next season and whatnot too. It's tough. There's no easy calls about it here, but that's going to be up to the club and the medical staff, and they'll have to figure that out. Going back to Graham's comment about like Higuain and him looking off and stuff. Well, I mean, if you look at this, not even factoring like Higuain just as a player personally, but like you look at this club and look at the way we play on the pitch, and everybody's struggling. Everybody's struggling to find rhythm and like cohesion in that final third. So it's no surprise to me that a guy that, he's been out for a bit, when he comes in, that he looks off, because we look off even with the guys that are regulars. It's just hit and miss. There's no structure to our play in the final third. You watch any other team play. They know what they're trying to do. They know how they're going to create their opportunities. They're working towards getting in those positions. We are working to get the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's it. And if teams isolate on him and they try to zone in on him, there's like nothing else going on there. There's just nothing else going on there. There's no team play. And it makes perfect sense to me that a guy like Higuain will jump in there and struggle, because it's so broken. There's way too much freedom.
Do you think we should use Ronaldo as a decoy? Because I know we're going to pump it to him, and rather just use him as a decoy. And then Ronaldo, unfortunately, this guy, I know he's the man, but use him as a decoy. And Dybala or Costa or Benedeschi or someone will play the game and be the threat rather than Ronaldo.
Do you think Mr. Champions League's going to be happy being a decoy?
That's a good point.
Here's the thing, like, if we had it so that our fullbacks were more engaged, if we had the right guy right now to play in behind of two forwards, and Ronaldo was one of them, so that he didn't have to be drifted so far out and just be sitting up top there, it theoretically should be our best way of playing. But we don't get the consistency out of the fullbacks to really do that. We don't have the right person in the middle. I see this comment with Ramsey in there, but we've seen that. We've seen that movie before. Ramsey couldn't do it. Bernardeschi couldn't do it. Dybala could do it a bit. But again, a lot of this, and not just hacking on Ramsey or Bernardeschi or these guys, but a lot of it has to do, if you're going to play in that formation, our fullbacks need to be like fully engaged all the time. And that doesn't happen. So it makes the 4-3-1-2 way too narrow, and we couldn't make it work.
The thing here with this formation is that we are way too centered in that position, right? So everything will happen in the middle, right? And we also need the guys to play off the ball, the runs behind the positions defending. And Aaron Ramsey is probably the only guy who is able to do that at the world-class level. But unfortunately, those runs come, once a season, because he's injured all the time. I see those runs from Ramsey. I see that what he's trying to do. However, there is no understanding between him and, the other players next to him, and that's so frustrating because we've seen this at Arsenal. We've seen this a couple of times at Juve. So this would be a good formation for Ramsey, but I don't think this would be a good formation for Juve because then it would be only Ramsey looking for that open space, and that's it. And as you said, Al, of course, right and left back, they need to get more involved. They need to be more creative, bombarding up and down the flanks. And the question is, Higuain as the striker now is purely not good enough. I say this, and I said this before, and I'll say this again. I miss Mandzukic. I miss Mandzukic, Grinta. If we are going to play the way we are playing, just bombarding the crosses into the box, well, we need somebody there. And Cristiano coming in from the left is just not enough.
I don't know why our crossing is just so shit. Like, honestly, like these guys, like watching Rojo cross the ball into the area is just painful.
I don't think actually they work on it at all. This is just meaningless crosses that are just, we're hoping to hit Cristiano. So once they did against Sampdoria away, Alexander cross and beautiful goal from Cristiano, but that's it. Other crosses so random.
The thing is, I definitely in the comments have been nice also said about Rabiot. Honestly, I think Rabiot will be in the starter. I mean, in his form, after the coronavirus break, he's been the one player who's been on form for us. I mean, those runs, I mean, it's such a shame that goal was spoiled by that scoreline 4-2 against England. But that goal, it was like Messi on steroids, you know what I mean? As in being the height thing, not obviously him running. But, you know, it's the fact, it's just if Rabiot can play, right, and if it's against being the PSG player, being the Lyon, you know, the archive and all that, you know, arch enemies and all that, Rabiot can gobble up that ground, and for Christ's sake, go for goal. Don't just look for Ronaldo. Just go for goal. Shoot, man. You know? If Rabiot can have one of those games, guys, I think we look good. The problem is, I see Daniel mention about Pjanic and Bentancur. I just can't see those two playing together. I don't think... Roman, I don't know. You've got a good point on this. I don't see Pjanic and Bentancur. Bentancur plays I think he plays a better role than what Pjanic does. He covers ground better than Pjanic does. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the thing with Rabiot is actually quite fascinating because before COVID, many of us wanted him gone, not because of this his mother issues, but also because he showed no personality on the pitch whatsoever. He was very at default, very anonymous, and looked very not interested. And now suddenly the tables have turned, and now actually he looks the best, like the best midfielder we have in the team. And that's saying something in regards to what we have also Bentancur, but he's actually declined after the COVID, in my opinion. So it's a bit strange with Rabiot that he's become so important. But this is also, I think, I'm starting to wonder, what does this say about Miralem Pjanic, for example? Yes, we know he has checked out officially. He will go to Barcelona, but still, I expected more from him this season.
Yeah, especially how he started off. He came out of the gate looking amazing, you know. Scored
those two wonderful goals.
Was getting up into the top of the area, into prime positions and getting involved. And then it just gradually just kept declining into what we have seen, which is just standard lateral and negative passes and just not involved, just useless touches, and to the point where he wasn't even looking forward anymore.
And the yellow card.
Yeah. But
yeah. All right, going into the comments again. Daniel, if we risk Dybala, he gets injured again, we have to play with Cristiano, Higuain, Bernardeschi against City or Real Madrid. Costa is going to be match ready realistically until the semis. Well, Costa is not going to be ready anyway, so let's just get that straight out of the way. He is more busy TikToking. But this lineup right there, CR7, Higuain, Bernardeschi against the likes of Madrid and City, it doesn't look good, does it?
No.
But the thing is, you got to take it as a game by game case.
Yeah.
You know, you can't think about Man City, Real Madrid, or Barcelona, Bayern Munich, or maybe even Napoli, who knows. You can't think about down the road. You got to think about what's ahead of us right now. And all we've got right now is Lyon. So we need to get the best players on the pitch, beat Lyon, and then worry about whoever we play in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Do you feel more confident at the back with Danilo, like defensively, with Danilo or Quadrado? Because I'd probably almost rather prefer Quadrado at right wing than Bernardeschi, really.
Danilo for me at right back.
Yeah, and I think that's probably like the way to go, honestly, because at least defensively, I have a little more confidence in Danilo than I do Quadrado, especially on the back post coverage, which Quadrado is just shocking at. But I'd much rather right wing than Bernardeschi, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree. There is no there. I mean, we've seen other guys that have been praising Quadrado. I will not mention names, but it is very strange that people say that he has been the most consistent player. Consistent is the opposite, I'd say. He started actually very well.
Well, it's a fair
suddenly
comment.
It's
a fair comment. I mean, consistently frustrating is still consistent.
Yeah.
But guys, look, coming back to about the right back there, but we don't really have much of a choice, do we? Sandro on the left, Danilo on the right. There's not much we can do about that, do we? We don't really, and for God's sake, I hope we don't play Quadrado right back, because I'd rather use him as a right wing and do his little dance and running up in the front, personally.
Daniel Jafari there, that's cool. Choosing between Danilo and Quad for right back position is our collective punishment for all you base.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
throw the Shilio in there as well.
Honestly, like, you can't take away what Quadrado did. I mean, filling in. He's not a right back, and he's filled in all season, so it's great for that. But at the same time, I mean, we'd be lying if we said he was,
But it's not by choice, it was a necessity, because it apparently was
about management that your actual right backs got beat out by a right winger for their natural position. That tells you it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, management definitely screwed up with that. Yeah. But I mean, the main problem with Quadrado is he's an okay player, right? He does frustrate you. But he's got pace, he's got tricks, so he is good in the offensive area. The problem is, when he plays at right back, he forgets he's supposed to be playing right back. And he still thinks he's a right winger. And you'll see him bombing up forward, you'll see him bombing forward, and then you're thinking to yourself, you got to track back. You got to defend. Like, he brought very little defensively.
Yeah. Lorenzo makes a point there. He's constantly making fatal errors every game. I mean, the thing is, though, right, and I'm not having a pop at Quadrado here, and I see Quadrado as the perfect utility player that you have always had. Sturari, Padoin, Pesotto, Brillandelli. To me, he's great. Being on the bench, and then right wing, the guys are shortening on pace, they're getting tired, put him on. Right back, Danilo is suffering. Okay, we know he can still play. It's going to be dog shite, but let's put him on. We've got no one else. Let's put him on. That's how it's it. But don't start the guy. Simple. Don't start him. We need guys. That's the thing, right? Every football team has trump cards, right? All little cards in their sleeves, right? Sarri can't play all his cards on the pitch and then sit back, smoke his ciggy, or eat this chew butt, and then say, "That's it, boys. It's your time now." No, it doesn't work like that. That's why you have to have players like Quadrado. All right, let's put him on, put him a bit of pace. Or Douglas Costa when he's bloody fit, they can do that shimmy and add that extra pace. But don't start Costa. Don't start Quadrado, and that's how I see it.
The thing is with Quadrado also is that he started at the right back when Allegri put him there, and also when Barzagli was at the coaching staff, Quadrado even said it himself that Barzagli is teaching him a lot. Barzagli was his go-to guy regarding to tutoring and whatnot, but now he's gone. There is no Barzagli. There is only Quadrado and Sarri. I guarantee you, I will give Aubert's left ball sack for that. Quadrado is not being tutored at all. Nobody is telling him what to do. He's running everywhere. Just whatever he wants to do, he will do it.
bringing up Barzagli is great too, because I'm very curious to see during the span when he come to the coaching staff and then when he left, like we seem to shore up all those leaking, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just all of a sudden there was like this defensive harmony or whatnot. And I'm curious to see the stats on during that time frame, because we were leaking before he came to the staff, and then all of a sudden they got solid. Things looked good. Things were aligned, and then we had no issues. And then all of a sudden, like he left and slowly, but then we got close to the stoppage and play as well. But we come back, just a nightmare back there. So I'm curious to see that. But I don't know. Like the management's left us kind of shy all over the place. Sandro had no backup this entire season, which is ridiculous to have not a second left back, and especially when the guys like Pellegrini. But regardless, Daniel Jafari too, even talking about having issues in the middle of the park and in fullback positions, is a price we pay for having CR7 on the roster. True. It's crazy, but this is kind of hindsight's always 2020. But if you sit back and think there, it just what happened was, and I know I'm guilty of it. Ronaldo being signed, you think, here we go. There's that final piece of the puzzle, because we were dominating domestically and we were contending like every year, going deep in Champions League. We were competitors in there. But then what happens is, you bring them in and the team play wasn't really where it should have been at its strongest. He comes in and all of a sudden it's like the spotlight's kind of on him. You could see the game shift towards getting it to him and whatnot. And then the team play really dissipated, And the truth of the matter was, maybe because of Allegri overachieving with some of the guys we had, it gave us this false sense of where the team actually was. And we thought we were this close to breaking the barrier at Champions League. And it turns out we were this far away. Mm-hmm. And then when you get Cristiano Ronaldo in and you're not actually this close, that gap just gets bigger and bigger, because his wages, all the money you put into that, it leaves you shy in other areas. And here we go with this roster mess that we have.
To be fair to of course, I totally agree. Of course, when Cristiano arrives, you'd be stupid not to get excited.
You have to sign him. You have to do it. But the thing is what I'm saying is, as a whole, it really put the highlight in a negative way on management out of all the things that they've let go. The bad contract extensions, always in the Mercado, taking a couple steps forward and one back. We've done that notoriously well before Ronaldo arrived. But yeah, you're right. If you get the chance to sign him, you have to sign him. But the thing is, would we have if we had been highlighted the struggles we have? You get into the same scenario you're at right now. We believed we were a lot closer then. So if you get the chance to get Ronaldo, you're going to do it. But the fact of the matter is, if it was this summer, Ronaldo's out there, you get the chance to do it, you're not going to do it because we're not in that shape as a club. We just didn't see it at that time. But this particular summer, you can't go out and get him because we have way too many areas to cover. And the fact of the matter is, we didn't see that at that time. We thought we were a lot closer.
Going back to Cuadrado, Lorenzo, Bonucci should show him up to defend with his ass. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, bloody twerk merchant. That I was going to say. What the hell is that defending, man? It's like a new style of twerking on the football pitch.
He's afraid of the ball.
Yeah, but Graham, I understand when players put their hands behind their back, but why put your bloody ass in the way, man? What is that? And he's guilty of that many times. He's an absolute. I love it. There's someone posted it. Aziz, shout out to Aziz. One of the greatest tweets I've seen in a long time. And he had all the defenders there: Rugani, Chiellini, Bonucci, and De Ligt and Demiral. He said three bodyguards, a lady, and a twerk merchant. It's just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous defending Bonucci.
I just find it crazy how, like, you've got a player like Bonucci who, a couple of seasons ago, like maybe 3 seasons ago, people were talking about him being one of the best defenders in football, in Europe at the very least. And then he joins Milan, has an absolute nightmare, comes back to Juventus, and he just continues to have a nightmare. I mean, he has his moments, don't get me wrong. You know, he is capable of defending, but he just seems like a different player from what we were used to. Maybe during, off the top of my head, the first 5 or 6 titles we got, and he's never been the same.
You could say that, in my opinion, he looks still very unfinished as a defender. When he left to Milan, he should never have done that because he still had Barzagli, Chiellini, Buffon behind him, so he could still learn a lot. But then he decided to go to Milan and, well, basically cut the cord with Juve. But then suddenly he came back running, and, well, it was already too late because he lost one season, right? And then Barzagli retired, Chiellini started to get injured, and then he was basically all alone. So right now he is the main guy at Juve, so to speak, defensively. And he started well this season, don't get me wrong. I think he did pretty well this season. But then, well, in the beginning, and then he just started to get worse and worse and worse. And some will defend him, the fact that it's many games, you know, he has played a lot of minutes and all that stuff. But still, the defending that we saw against Milan was the prime example how not to defend.
The fact is, does it show maybe Barzagli the work? Because I honestly, genuinely stand by this. And look at Juventino. For me, Barzagli is one of the most underrated defender to me in the last, 20 years. Because the work that guy used to do, and Chiellini maybe made Bonucci look good, right? And and when De Ligt's not playing, Bonucci looks pretty average. So I don't know if there's a correlation there, or I'm just picking holes there. But listen, Bonucci's he's been a good servant to the club. Do I forgive him for going to Milan? Do I forget? Well, listen, you've got to move on with these things. But he's not the same player that we knew of many years ago, right? Look, and we talked about this, about unsellable players and everything. And to Roman's point, and this is the way you've made a valid point, Bonucci, I wouldn't sell him. I'll keep him on the bench. But if Milan come back from for a 20 million, 30 million offer, well, there you go. I'll bow tie him, and there you go, ready to go. But keep him as a defender. I'd rather have him, for Christ's sake, than Rugani, man. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
And this comment right there, sorry, just gotta say, Bonucci has been a good defender, great with the ball. This great with the ball stuff, I just don't get. Lately, this should be a minimal for all defenders, especially central defenders, to be good with the ball. If we are to play Sarri ball, well, every single player needs to be good on the ball. And I say this, but Matthijs de Ligt is actually quite okay with the ball at his feet. And we saw that with Ajax. We saw a glimpse of it at Juve. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, the long balls. That's what we're all about with Bonucci, right? That's what we are speaking of. We're talking about the long balls.
It's systems. You always have to look at systems, and center backs. You have to look at pairings. Like when you think back to Bonucci when he was like truly like we were considering world class with us. Well, you had a style that was completely different. He had to shut down. He had one complete shutdown defender with him, and then he had another who was the high pressure, aggressive defender with him. He had the freedom to be that guy that hangs back, takes the ball, and he leads the counter. He can throw that ball aerial or whatnot. In a 4-man defense, he doesn't necessarily fit. If you pair him up with Rugani, well, there you have 2 defenders that essentially play the same, which is back up, and allow these teams to just run out. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You cannot pair the 2 of them together. Whether you want to say De Ligt is carrying Bonucci, sure. I mean, I'm fine with that. The fact is, De Ligt's that aggressor. He's going to go out. He's going to get that. Chiellini, he's going to go out. He's going to pressure. And Bonucci's going to stand back. He's always been that guy. But I'm telling you, it's systems. And it's no different than when you look at all these. You could make that argument for a lot of these guys. It has to fit the system. Bonucci has gradually not fitted our system anymore. And Roman, you're completely right in a sense of ball-playing defenders because the game is changing now too. And guys, these young guys are getting comfortable and they're becoming so versatile where center backs weren't like what you think of like Chiellini, that holy shit, you're just happy he can make that pass to that guy on the flank, right? It's not like that anymore. These guys they're very agile. They can move well. Even De Ligt, for such a big guy, when we saw that stretch where he was in form, he was getting well advanced up in the pitch and making plays, making good passes. But going back to the system thing, you look at a guy like Alexandro, and when we played the 3-5-2, he thrived in it. Going back to the 4-back, that's when his kind of decline started. So system has a lot to do with it as well, right? But Bonucci, the ass thing, yeah, I'm kind of over it.
What about the captain of the pitch inside? Do you guys not think Demiral and De Ligt are very similar in style? Tough tacklers, hard tacklers, last-ditch tacklers. Do you not think they're very similar in style? Defenders. They're not ballers, right? They're not ballers. They're not the type of defenders that run with the ball out, right? Do you not think that could be a problem, then? I'm not being negative here. I'm just saying, very similar defending style.
I think Demiral's more aggressive, though. Way more aggressive. De Ligt's, he comes from the Ajax academy, so he's going to have ball playing skills and things like that. I don't think Demiral has much of that. Like, Demiral to me just like screams old school defender. He's just got the aggression. He's going to dive into the tackles. Sometimes that's not a good thing. He needs to, in my opinion, kind of calm down a little with the aggression. It's good to have that aggression, that aggressive side, but you don't want to
be Vinnie Jones, man. Jesus.
Oh, good God. I mean, I think his debut, he gave away a penalty, perhaps. Like, he just needs to tone that down a little. I love the attitude, but just tone it down a little. So I don't think they're too similar in style.
Yeah.
Travis, welcome, by the way, to the chat. We have a lot of guys that just joined and that we haven't even said hello. So, nice to see you guys. Travis, would anyone try Bonucci in Pjanic role? I say, please don't.
No.
Here's the funny thing, right? See, last summer when we were all fantasizing about Pep Guardiola coming and managing Juventus, I genuinely believed if Pep Guardiola was in charge, at some point he would put Bonucci into the midfield. I swear, I could see him putting him in midfield and being the ball player.
Fuck. No,
that would be a nightmare, man.
Yeah. And Twig Mitchell running up the field, up and down.
He would just stand there and ping the balls forward.
It's a classic. I'll mention it a few games in La Panchina. There we go. Kick off, pass it back. Bonucci hoops it. Boom. Loses the ball. Classic, isn't it? You can literally memorize that. Pass back, hoof it up. Bonucci.
I can't see him playing in that role. I can't.
That's a good one, though. It's a good one. Travis, I give that one to you. That made me chuckle. Though. That's Pjanic.
All right, moving forward. Let's see. There was one comment here. Let's see if I can find it again.
Whilst you're looking for a comment, Roman, I'm surprised no one has talked about. I know we talked about Conte briefly, but it's actually been really a dominant. Just the way he's. What I'm talking about, not about Conte, what he said on the thing, but the way Sarri post-match interview versus Allegri post-match interview versus Conte post-match interview. It's such a style of difference there. Sarri absolutely talks a load of crap, which really irritates the shit out of me. Oh yeah, it's great to lose to Napoli. Yeah, one team, I'm glad. And then he talks about, oh yeah, and you think, okay, people say, oh yeah, but that's the way you. Well, no, Allegri. I miss Allegri's post-match interviews, and the one that we talked about today with speaking to Graham separately, privately, about his analogy about a horse race, winning it by nose, by a cortomuso, doesn't matter, if you win it by nose, the fact is you won the race. You come second, you lost it by nose, but you came second. No one talks about it. Everyone does. You don't talk about how many lengths you won about. You just talk about who the winner is. And those analogies and those stuff those anecdotes that Allegri used to talk about, I miss that. I do miss that. And he was I like the way he presents himself after games poetically, And there was one particular prick from Inter, Adani on Sky, who kept nagging him all the time. And Allegri just put him in his place, just put him in his place. And Conte, on the other hand, that guy, he's comical. He's just a clown when it comes to post-match interviews. Absolutely. If this guy's having an affair, everyone will know about it. The guy's having an affair, but he will tell everyone about it. The in-house laundry, dirty laundry, everyone will know about it. I really don't like that about Conte. don't really like about him. But anyway, that's just my little 2-minute thing about post-match interview rants. It's interesting.
But the thing with Conte just wants to set everything around him on fire. That's what he does. That is what he does. Just look at his history. He done it with us. He did it at Chelsea, and now he's doing it again at Merda. And like the thing with Sarri is like the impression I get from Sarri is when he's doing a post-game comments, he just gives the vibe that he's absolutely desperate to get away and have a smoke. That's all he cares about. All he cares about is getting those smokes after the game. And Allegri was the most Juventus-style manager for post-game comments. I mean, he was pretty much professional 9 times out of 10. And the other two were just the opposite, basically.
Moving forward, Davide, do you think Arthur is a good fit for Juve? Now we're talking future, a real future. So what's next for Juve? Arthur, of course, coming in the exchange deal where Pjanic going the other way. So Arthur, controversially enough, is in Brazil, saying no to come back to Barca to play the Champions League games with them. So they have a bit of quarrel there, but he will come to us after the season is done. Al, I don't know. It looks to me like on paper, or at least what we saw from Barca, he is a perfect signing for Sarri. But is there something negative about this signing?
I would have a tough time finding something negative. At the beginning, when the whole rumors were going on, I really did not like the fact he didn't at least acknowledge the club in any way, shape, or form, and just kept stressing his desire to stay at Barcelona. You can at least just say something positive about you. But whatever. Besides that, the actual deal itself is a positive. It's a win. It's a huge win for Juve. I mean, you're getting rid of Pjanic. You're getting a positive in the books. You end up buying him for what was the total on top, like 10, 12 or something. That's a no-brainer. Apparently, he can play as Mezzala and the regista role. I mean, this is a win. This is a win, no question in my mind for Juve. But it's just not enough, in my opinion. That's all. I think we still need another signing in the middle for sure, 100%.
Where do you put him in the side over?
Where Dybala shouldn't be playing. I think Dybala should play more up front, and he should be one carrying the ball. And then I know he does that with Barca. He threads the ball, carries the ball. I keep saying this, and I think I don't know who made that comment. I used an American football analogy about the quarterback and the carrier and the wide receiver. And it's great because we've got some North American folks here, so they know exactly what terms I'm using here, right? So I still think we're missing our so-called quarterback type player, right? The guy who can pass the ball through an eye of a needle, right? Really like the Pirlo. We really need a player like that. Bentancur, he's a great cover, I think, defensively player, cover ground, like Regista covering the ground, deep play and get that ball out, quick chain the ball out. But yeah, Artur will playing. He'll probably play in the middle of the park. We've got Kulusevski playing on the right, so and we still got Costa possibly and Cuadrado. Well, Cuadrado definitely staying, so we know that. Costa might go, but who's mad enough to buy him? So we've got quite a lot of people on the right there. So Kulusevski, he looked pretty good. So I just see Artur playing in the middle of the park, to be honest with you. They're going to adapt his game to the middle of the park, and he'll be, I think, Sarri's Jorginho. The Sarri ball, epicenter of the Sarri ball. Give him the ball, let him run with it. Let him create the play. Him with Dybala link up and maybe Ronaldo coming in, that's where I see it happening.
Well, here's a question that gets brought up a lot when we're factoring in where Arthur's going to play is, do you guys think Bentancur is better at Regista or as Mezzala?
No, Regista. 100% Regista.
Really? Okay. Because a lot of people believe he should be at Mezzala and he's better at that. And a lot of people have Arthur going as Regista in their lineups. But for me, I want Bentancur in that deep line role because of his defensive abilities too. Yeah. And I'd want Arthur being the guy in the Mezzala, more advanced and kind of involved with the creativity. So, yeah.
Thing is with Bentancur is that we've seen this especially this season, is that he is toothless going forward. Very few goals, very few those killer passes in the final third. Not so good at opening up the tight defenses. And however, on the plus side, we've seen that he has legs. He's one of the first guys we see on the pitch. If you see the full pitch, like from up top and below 22 players, you see Bentancur from the kickoff. You see him straight away. Why? Because he is the one who runs. He's the one who makes those miles. He has an engine, and the fact that he has played almost every single minute after the COVID lockdown confirms that he has enough energy in the tank to do those minutes, to play the full 90. Of course, we have this stupid yellows, and the way we conceded against Atalanta, I think it was the first goal for Zapata. It was kind of poor for Bentancur, but the guy is what 21, 22, 23? Yeah. So he's a young guy, and remember, this is not taking it. Well, this is very serious. This is his first proper season at Juve, because last season he barely featured for us. He came in and the side, out of the side, in the side, out of the side. Allegri used him very, very strangely, but now we see that he has more responsibility, playing much better than Pjanic, for sure. And Mezzala started well there as well, but now it looks like it could be Regista. I don't know.
But what do you guys think? No one mentioned Zaniolo. Do you think because we've got Artur and we've got Kulusevski, we've got Kulusevski, they're too similar of a player to run with the ball? What do you guys think? Zaniolo? No? Yes?
Too expensive.
Man, I had that discussion today. I actually put the post and I said my fear is that Juve will see those two players as too similar, Zaniolo and Kulusevski. And I feel like we're not going to go after Zaniolo. Personally, I want Zaniolo at all costs. And I say, let's get them both, for God's sakes, because they're both, when you start touching on guys that could play multiple positions, they can't. They could play out of your midfield. They could play on the wing. They're both physical, great on the ball, like creative. Like, I don't know. I'd go after them both, but I fear that they're going to see them both being too similar and that we might not go in. Zaniolo's price got jacked up too, Roman mentioned, which complicates things. But I don't know. If you're going to put close to the same money on Chiesa, Zaniolo.
I mean, I would love to have Kulusevski and Zaniolo for Juventus next season.
Yeah.
But I think the only issue is we need to sell at least one of Bernardeschi or Douglas Costa. That's the only issue, because we've already got Kulusevski. He'll likely play as a right winger, I would imagine. That's mostly where he's been playing for Parma, and he has looked really good there. So I'm fully behind him just walking into the starting 11 on the right wing. Because who would you rather have above him right now? Bernardeschi, Douglas Costa, or Quadrado?
But to be fair to Zaniolo and his price tag, I think you can say that this looks very, very unrealistic, because as I've seen Paratici and Nedved talk, they all talk about swap deals. Very few, very, very little talk about actual cash involved. I think they actually splashed the whole thing on Kulusevski, to be quite honest, and they have nothing left in the bank. So Bernardeschi is, at least looks like to be the only chip they can add to the table. Maybe Pellegrini, but if Roma says no, and I get why they say no. They're losing Zaniolo and getting maybe Bernardeschi instead. What are they gonna do with Bernardeschi? They have Cengiz Under. We have other guys on the Kluivert, I think, as well. So what are they gonna do with Bernardeschi? So for me, it's very, very tough. Very, very tough to get Zaniolo. It's a good signing. It's Italian, young, and we all know how we love the young Italians. Tonali, we can forget about the guy.
No, he's gone.
And that's it. So we will be focusing on the swap deals, and this is where the These thoughts. I see some comments there. Yusuf, by the way, welcome. Yusuf, my man from my channel as well. Welcome, Yusuf. Thoughts on Milik to Juve. This is also a deal that we have been talking about a lot. This is also a swap deal involved, no cash. So I don't know, guys, what you think about that potential move.
Too injury prone, not good enough.
He's got a good left foot on him, right? And to your point, it sounds like we're buying everything from Napoli, giving all this cash to Napoli all the time, you know? Just indulge me. Indulge me for 2 seconds, right? Zaniolo, Artur, Kulusevski, Bentancur. To me, Zaniolo, just play there, and that's be fine. Just do what you do. But anyway, back to the point. Milik, no. It'll be J Hospital Fitness welcome open arms for Milik again. I mean, he can score goals, but guys, come on, man.
I'm behind the idea, but the price tag. I think what we should do, because we have so many spots to look after, I think we should be looking at a forward that's not going to be that elite top guy. I think we need to work with, if Ronaldo stays, he's occupied one of those positions hands down. It's locked. I don't want a situation where we push Dybala out to the wing again, because that's useless. So he's got to be up top there. So why do we need to get an elite guy up at the top? I'm behind the idea of getting somebody for coverage that can alter a formation as well and be that striker. But I don't need an elite guy. So I'm behind the idea. Milik's price tag, where it's like a swap in cash and stuff, is a little bit much. But I'm behind the idea of getting someone like that. I would like Marcus Thuram personally. I think like that's kind of a route to go, get somebody young in behind with legs. But Dybala should be a focus up top with a pairing. And we get back to that 4-3-1-2, but it's all got to match. Fullbacks, the middle, everything.
Zapata, do you think his price is too inflated from Atalanta? Do you think it's too inflated?
Yeah, it's just too old.
29 years old or 30 years old.
Yeah, but if it's a stopgap for Haaland to come the season after, why not?
If it's a stopgap, bring a young guy for less money and groom him like Marcus Thuram, and then you have him for years. Like,
come on now. When do you know Juventus bringing young players in and grooming them to top? Look, come on. You know the history.
Okay, but does that mean we're just going to live and die by this shit and just keep making the same mistake? Okay, and it's a stopgap, but here's Zapata. You've done fuck all for us. Here's your 5-year extension. And, we'll just...
Wow, Khedira, welcome to the club. Yay!
Hey, you've got a spot right next to Khedira. Here it is. Here's your spot next to Slam and Sammy over here.
But, I mean, someone just said it in the chat, Travis. If you're talking about a stopgap signing, Cavani...
Yeah, I said this a while ago. I said this, that Cavani would be a perfect signing just for us for 1 year, and then we get Icardi, and I will be happy.
Cavani's gone to Benfica. He's gone to Portugal, I think. He's gone, guys.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it's done. He's gone.
I haven't heard anything. But on the flip side as well, I haven't heard anything about
Obero Agresti.
Breaking news! Exclusive!
Breaking news! Here we go.
Here we go, Cavani. Hold on.
But I mean, we're talking about strikers right now. I haven't heard anything about anyone coming in for Higuain, and that's the thing we've got to work with. We've only got.
Of course not.
Exactly. So where are we going to get the money from if we can't even get rid of guys like Higuain, who are already on big wages in their 30s?
Stop the press. Cavani deal pulled out from Benfica. Apologies aren't bad. Leeds are going for him. Even Bayern Munich. So I will retract that comment. And Travis, I will take your comment, and I agree with you. Cavani in for 1 season in. Proven scorer. I'll take that back. Exclusive right here.
But the thing is, that with Higuain right now, we have trouble of shipping him off. We have the same issue with Khedira. We will have the same issue with Matuidi. We will for sure have the same issue with guys that are too old to handle, too old to sell, too old to make some profit. This is why we struggled with Mandzukic. We apparently wanted to ship him off, but apparently nobody wanted him because of the high wages.
Marcus Thuram. I like that.
Yeah, it's...
Look at the comment. I like that comment there by Yusuf. Have a look.
Oh, Marcus Thuram, Keane 2.0. What? Scoring goals for us every game, but not when he left town?
Bravo, you
I'll handle that. I
Bravo.
can take that. Moise Keane coming back? No, ruined. It was ruined.
Guys,
Actually, guys, think about this, right? I just seen that news there about Cavani. Honestly, I know you guys he's old, but he's proven to score goals, right? Don't forget about the Farmers League in France. But the point being is, when he played for Napoli, he was unbelievable. I personally think Cavani gives the height. You're talking about the game change, right, Al? Height, if you need to start bringing long balls, he can bring the ball down to Dybala. I think Cavani would be a great stop, short gap fill until Haaland comes into us. Hopefully.
Yeah, you're still moving. Is he? You're still moving Dybala over to the wing. I don't like it. He's.
And that's the thing. Dybala, whoever we sign, Dybala needs to be there. Needs to be in there. And also the thing is that if Dybala isn't there, for sure Cristiano needs to be there. And now we're talking formation, right? So Dybala needs to be there, Cristiano needs to be there, and we need to have Milik, Cavani, whoever. So now we're talking.
I say Dybala needs to be a main. If you're looking at strikers, you're looking at forwards, bring coverage. Don't look for this elite killer. You don't necessarily need it, man. I don't know.
No.
Raul
Jimenez for 80 million.
We need another midfielder. Arthur's not enough. If you ask me, my opinion, we need fullbacks. But if you speak to Sam, one spot's perfectly fine, and both are perfectly fine. So who knows? But I say we need fullbacks.
No. Listen, I agree with fullbacks. We need right back, left back. We do. And if Pellegrini comes in, fine, fantastic. Or Sandro Pellegrini keeps on his toes, right back. We definitely need someone in there. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Just sign a right back and put Cuadrado at wing again.
Look at Daniel Lonegro trying to fire some naughty stuff up here with the Ronaldo.
That's good.
That's funny. Yeah, it's the great one from Daniel. Ronaldo Mbappe as well.
Wow.
That would never, ever
sign
happen,
me up.
Where do we sign, Daniel? Where do we sign? What blood do you want? Left arm or right arm?
Can we keep Jorginho though? I like to do that.
Actually, guys, seriously, a player I'd love to see, which we'll never get, and he's such a strange player. And Graham probably didn't know, following the Premiership as well, is Traore. You're talking about Jimenez from Wolves. Traore, he's built like a
tank.
But the guy moves. The guy moves.
Price tag, man. Price tag.
Yeah. I know. But that's one player that no one talks about. But he's one. I'd love to see him at Juve.
Somebody had it in the comments here, actually.
Did they?
Yeah.
Mr. I know Jimenez, but not Torre. Not Torre.
Yeah, Sheer 1019, Traore.
Oh, fair enough. Fair play. Good shout. Because I think he's Jimenez. I don't think so. Yeah, but Traore, I don't know. You look at him, he looks like a Sunday rugby league player. He doesn't look like a footballer. Can you imagine me in Serie A? Just bulldoze, boom. No diving, no bollocks of, got shot in the face.
All right, guys, let's move forward. We have some questions on Twitter. The first one, it was actually 4 questions, so I'll split them in 4. Harelma24 at Twitter, can you recommend an antidepressant pill? So he basically talking about, I hope he talks about Sarri and the way we play, and this is basically not good enough. We are up against Lyon. We probably make a meal out of it. Antidepressant pill. What is the positives? What can you say?
I'm Canadian, so I used beer, basically. I drink quite a bit of beer when I get into these funks with Juve. But Champions League's a different beast, and sometimes you got to go with some scotch or whiskey or gin, depending on how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely alcohol. Alcohol is needed if it's available to you.
No, just your raw nervousness inside does it for me, man.
Graham, there is a second question here. Let Graham answer that one. Can things be changed in the team for the Champions League with so many mediocre players?
Right now, like going into the Lyon game?
Apparently, yeah.
Things would change. I mean, not much. It's just we have what we have. Like, it's just a case of what Juventus turn up, because they are capable of playing well. We've seen it. Not much. you could count on one hand the amount of times Juventus have shown up and played great football. Ironically, both times were against Merda. Take from that what you want. And we were okay in the Champions League group stage. We weren't brilliant, we weren't amazing, but I mean we were pretty good against Atletico Madrid, I thought, and Atletico Madrid are no mugs. So I think we have it is what it is, and as long as we can get Dybala into the squad again, I think we'll have a good chance. We just need to work on the defence. Like defensively, it's weird to say that as a Juventus fan. We are all over the place when it comes to defending. Like you watch it and you'll see teams just hit us on a quick counter, and you're genuinely really, really worried. Like you're fearing for the worst. So we need to get more defensively solid. We can't just rely on Szczesny pulling off saves all the time, because like he is so underrated as a goalkeeper. He has pulled off some fantastic saves during his time at Juventus. But I mean, like I don't think you can really change that much, especially on short notice.
Yeah. The thing is right now is that Sarri actually has this window of preparing his team for the next game, because we played Roma. What was that? Saturday. We played Roma Saturday, so he actually has 6 days to prepare for the Lyon game. So I mean, there are no excuses. Basically, he should get ready for that game.
Yeah, I mean, this question too: can things be changed in the team for the Champions League? I mean,
what can you do?
We have a coach that won't change, so it's going to end up coming down to what Juve we will get on that game day. But the part that concerns me when people ask, the confidence factor being on a scale 1 to 10 at 6, it's like you can have all the intentions in the world, but if you don't have a plan to execute it, it's all for naught. Like nothing will come of it. And this is how I feel, unfortunately, with this Sarri-led squad. I feel there's nothing in behind. So if they come out, with the right attitude and the legs are behind them and our players are hungry and after it, we still have no plan on goal creation or anything like that. Or, there's nothing behind it.
Just a question, is Zanimacchia and Frabotta, are they in the squad for Champions League? Because, they look, I like them, man. They play pretty well, even though
they won't feature anyway, I think. Zanimacchia was poor against Roma, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Zanimacchia wasn't too hot against Roma.
No.
The fullback was good, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the third question from the same guy. Do you think, and that's a bigger question, we answered it actually last time.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, deserve is the wrong word to use. I said this already on Twitter. I don't think he deserves absolutely anything, but we don't have anything else to go with. So we will keep Sarri for the next season, but he deserves, I'm not sure that he deserves anything.
Well, has he shown us any signs of actual progression with Sarri ball and attractive football that he was meant to have Juventus playing? I haven't really seen it. You've seen it a handful of times. Again, it goes back to how many times have you seen Juventus playing well? And it's very tough because you've only got basically a month-long window to change things. It's not long enough, and you can't make that change. Like, say, worst case scenario, Lyon eliminate us on Friday or whenever that game is this week. You've got like a month to find a new manager and a new philosophy and a new style, and then hope to God that the players that are currently in the team will fit whatever philosophy style that manager wants to play. So as long as we don't get eliminated off Lyon, probably in all likelihood stick with Sarri and hope that he gets it right in the second season. But if there's no progression in season number 2 under Sarri, then he's got to go.
Yeah.
There is a comment there from Yusuf. Hopefully Pirlo is groomed for manager role. If you didn't know this, Pirlo's just joined the under-23s. He will manage those guys. Totally unproven coach, but Andrea Pirlo is a legend as a player. But we will see what he can do as a coach. Too early to say if he's good enough to manage Juve first team, for sure.
I'm really surprised about that because I thought Pirlo would be the one that gets more into the media space, drinking wines, looking good, looking Italian, looking suave. I can't see him standing on the sidelines, spitting gum out and shouting at players. He's never was that type of player. Do you know what I mean?
It's the COVID. It's the COVID, man. COVID
it's going to be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. His style. Like it'll be interesting. He'll definitely be a player's manager. That's for sure.
It's amazing. It's amazing, guys. If you see the 2006 Italian squad, not to deviate, how many players under Lippi have become coaches? Huh? It's astounding. Astounding that could Pirlo, Gattuso, Grosso. It's just Buffon will eventually become one for sure. The Rossi, he's doing it, and they're all just doing it. Inzaghi, they're all doing it, man. It's just crazy.
Well, that's the thing. If you're an ex-player that's actually won things, I mean, I was talking about the respect that Pirlo is going to instantly command. It's the exact same as Zinedine Zidane. If you're a young football player, you know who Pirlo is. Pirlo is a guy that everyone known him for the past. He's won the Champions League, Serie A World Cup. So you're instantly going to look at the guy and you're going to take on board whatever he says to you. It's the same as Zinedine Zidane. Cristiano Ronaldo looked at Zidane, and when Zidane said, "Yeah, you need to take the bench, you need to rest up for the Champions League game," he did it. If you can get someone like Cristiano Ronaldo to do what you're telling him, you've got something about you.
I think Daniel in his comment below, I think he's suggesting Conte.
Keep Conte away.
Pippo Inzaghi. Oh no. There was one question to Al's tweet earlier today. He brought up a bunch of stats. Stromae Maestro. Are we too reliant on Ronaldo and Dybala going forward, that is? And will Kulusevski ease that next season with his goals and creativity? That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Are we too reliant on Ronaldo and Dybala? Yeah, we are. And the reason is because we all know why. We have no creativity elsewhere on the pitch. It all comes, our goals come from them. Look at the stats. Look at the numbers that they come up with together, combined. Are we too reliant on them? Absolutely. Will Kulusevski ease that next season with his goals and creativity? I think he'll help for sure, as will Arthur, as we talked about earlier about Arthur's arrival and whatnot. I think he'll allow Dybala to stay forward more, and so will Kulusevski, really. So that's my thought.
He'll be more effective than Bernardeschi, that's for sure.
Can you imagine this, guys, the scene, Kulusevski being the new star, shining bright for Juventus, and Dybala starts shining up? Can you imagine? I know I've got Z on the thing. I'm no dig on Dybala. I'm just saying, what a mix that would be.
Travis, I think we're going all in for Pep next year. I think so too, to be honest. Especially considering he's a disciple of the 3-year manager cycle, and this will be his 4th season at City. Yeah, I think he will eventually go to Serie A, in my opinion. I don't know if it will be Juve. I really hope so, and it would be perfect transition from Sarri to Pep. That's a good point, Travis.
But Pep's actually said it publicly. He has a fondness to Juventus, huh? But don't forget, guys, Pep used to manage Brescia, didn't do too well either. And Simone used to manage, who was it? Torino or someone, didn't do too well either. But listen, I know that's history, right? Because the coaching history is long. It's not like a footballer. But listen, guys, I think that's a great shout. But I think let's concentrate on Sarri for next season.
We don't have the funds to back Pep. Huh?
Not right now. Not right now.
No.
Not with Ronaldo at the club. Like we said it earlier on, you don't say no to that deal. You sign him. You're an idiot if Ronaldo's available and you go, no, we don't want him. But with the wages that we give him, it really handcuffs us for spending big elsewhere. Like we can only really afford in a normal season to spend big on one player. And last season, the current season actually, we've done that on De Ligt. And the upcoming season, I think Kulusevski is going to be the big signing. because I don't see where else the money's going to come from. And we're already seeing it with the Arthur and Pjanic deal. It was mostly a swap deal, and that was mostly a deal done for financial reasons, especially on Barcelona's part.
Yeah, that's true. Yusuf with a comment. Yeah, we all agree on this one. We're more reliant on individual brilliance than the team, and that's basically our problem going forward. And Z is coming with the Chesney's a warrior.
Oh yeah, I tell you something, guys. That from our reliable sources, Rui Garcia will be the coach of Juventus next season. I don't know why you guys are laughing. It's a reliable source. What are you guys laughing for?
Is it a verified source?
It's a verified source with a lot of followers. So I don't know why you guys are laughing. Rui Garcia is the man.
That must be true.
It must be true, yeah. But didn't he coach in Serie A in like 2,000 years ago?
Yeah. He's quality though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, going next season, I'm worried because if we are gonna back Sarri with the signings that he needs, and if Sarri doesn't have a plan B, we are so in trouble because that plan A is very easily understood, at least today. Very easily found out. We saw that we struggled against Verona, against Spal, against Milan. Basically against every single team, at least before the lockdown. So I want to see something different, at least on Friday, to see what he's actually all about. Or we just get eliminated and we start all over again in a month.
Yeah.
But you guys surely the guys on the chat, us four here, Agnelli sitting in the stadium, Nedved, Ticci sitting there, they must be watching the same goddamn that we are watching. And they must see the same bloody things we are saying. They must be thinking the same thing. Or is it just us being fans and we start playing champ manager in our heads? But surely, Graham, don't you agree? Don't you think it's...
They must think something because, I mean, going back to, I can't remember what game it was. Like, we were watching it. And I mean, like, he went down to the tunnel and Nedved along with him and he stormed out. He looked pissed off, severely pissed off. And when do you ever see Agnelli going into the changing room and storming out? So they know something is broken. They know it.
I'm pretty sure that was against Lazio because we were doing the watch party.
Yeah.
But I mean, to get for him to go down there in the locker, I mean, and again, when have you seen that, right? And he come firing up out of there. Who knows what the hell is going on? I can't see them being happy, but I can't see them pulling the plug on Sarri. They're locked in. They're gonna ride it out. I can't see them doing it.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm not biting on Agnelli, Daniel. Not biting. Ignoring that one.
No, but that's actually. I remember me and Al. We had Eric in the watch party, and he made a very valid point. Why do we need a kick up our asses? We don't even need to have one kick up our asses. So why did Agnelli actually need to go down there? So clearly something was lacking, and that clearly confirms the fact that Sarri cannot motivate.
Well, why should we respect him? This is a guy that couldn't control a goalkeeper at Chelsea.
We also need to, I think, work on the spine of the club. When you have, and this is just me, I know how a lot of people feel about this guy, but Benatia had a fantastic 17-18 campaign with us. He had a solid year. We know the foul. Yeah, I get it. Or whatever. But he had a good year. Bonucci tells us whatever happens with Bonucci. He takes off. He comes back. Benatia was out playing him. Deserved that spot. We essentially shift him off. Benatia, every match he gave everything he had. Okay? You look at the spine. Pjanic declining, coming down, not having that get up and go. Whether it's winning a lot, whatever the case may be, we got these guys that are just, they're happy. Okay? They've become bloated. Okay? And just fucking satisfied. Okay? We've got to get the fucking hunger back. with the younger legs, guys that are driven, guys that want to go out there and win. And we're starting to do it now. It's just been way too long. But that spine of the team needs to change because these guys are way too complacent. Bonucci, Pjanic, you got to change Matuidi as well. Like, these guys have to change. You know, Rabiot, we talked about it at the start. Yeah, you could say you want to go, but now he's showing what he can do. Keep him. You know, Arthur's going to come in. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder from how Barca treated him and basically outed him. Keep going that way. Bentancur, young, hungry, driven. Does he make mistakes here and there? Yeah, he'll learn. He's 22. Keep going that route. Delict, Demiral, go right up the pitch. You know, Bentancur, Delict, Demiral, Dybala. Build around this new spine and let's go, right? This thing with experience all the time, right? It's good to balance that, but we tipped the scale a little bit too much on experience and it's catching up to us now. That's all. We just got to balance it out. And for that, Sarri's not to blame, to be honest. He's not to blame for that.
Well, the thing is that I feel that we need to have some motivator in the team. We need to have somebody who has the balls to kick somebody, to tell somebody that this is just not good enough. And I don't see this from Bonucci. I surely don't see this, unfortunately, from Gigi Buffon because he's just merely a spectator. Now he has checked out and probably sitting here with Pinsolio and have a laugh. But
no, Roman?
I feel that we missed something.
Sarri needs an espresso guy like Napoli has. That's what he needs.
Who is that guy, man? I keep asking for him. What the hell is that guy, man? Bring him back.
That guy that makes our players espresso, so they're just boo.
But that's what I'm saying. We need him. And another thing, to Travis's point that you
Decibelli.
That Travis's point, right? Okay, you took the side from Allegri, inherited, right? Fair enough. And and this is why I see why Sarri will be here next season because they'll start giving him the players he wants. But how long do you give the guy? You know, how long do you give him before it says this is just not working anymore? You know, I think I stand by what I said at the beginning of the season. That's finished now. 2 things: deliver a trophy, and 2, start showing the change of philosophy in football. And I didn't see that apart from the 2 games against Inter. I didn't see that, guys. I didn't see. I posted a clip yesterday or this morning or yesterday. There was some random team in South America. That football, one-touch football. I know we can't do that all the time, but Christ, that was a great football to watch.
Well, the thing with Sarri is at the start, you could see it. You actually could at the very start. There was some signs. What happened was, I think, because the race was so tight, he changed. He did actually change. And you started to see less and less of what Sarri was trying to implement because he almost got into now I need to just protect this and make sure we get this goddamn Scudetto. Like, you could see it at the start. Okay, right up until we played Merda. Okay, that was a great game. The first one we played Merda was unreal. And then after that, like, we kind of had these lulls up and down, but the race was tight the whole way with Lazio. And somewhere along the line, he just shifted. He just changed. He just started doing things that even seemed off for him.
And you know why? You know why? Because Sami Khedira got injured.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, guys, listen.
Khedira was the key to Sarri.
guys, you guys laugh. You know, I'm standing by this guy. There was a comment made here, which was a great comment. He provides employment to J Hospital members of the staff. Right? He provides bread on the table for some staff, right? So let's just, let's tail it in, guys. We're classier than that. So is Costa, great players off the pitch. Think about the contribution there.
Yeah. J Medical. The frequent
medical.
All right, guys, keep those questions coming in. Yeah, Travis here. I give him another year. This has been arguably the strangest season. Yeah, we've talked about this. But, I mean, this has been strange for everybody. And we still need to see something from Sarri. Some game management, somebody to manage the team, manage the guys correctly. I don't understand why, for example, Bentancur played against. I think he rested against Cagliari, but then he played against Roma, didn't they? So it was very, very strange to see. Why not the other way around? So there's just one example, but there are many others. I don't know. I just don't see it.
It's the substitutions too sometimes that just feel so disconnected from what's actually happening in the fucking match. Like seriously, sometimes you're looking and you're like, why is this the substitution? And you're talking about a team that's got an average age of 29 and a half years old. You have 5 subs, you make 3.
Yeah.
You make 4. It's like
that's a good point.
Rest these guys. You could see the guys are tired. Use it to your advantage and make those changes. I don't know.
I think the times, Travis made that point just very quickly. It probably the strangest time for at least for our living memory. But remember, there was times where you got world wars that were going on, so that must have been a real surreal time to be under, watching that going on. So, but I wouldn't say it's in the same category, but it definitely since that episode in human history. So this has been a really strange season for all of us, I guess, for all tifosi.
Yeah.
Just a quick one for that was this comment. No, we do not agree.
I don't know what part of the world RB Comps is, but it must be 420 because I think he's smoking there.
What?
I like it, actually. You know what? Actually, pull the deal. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
Yeah, plus Valenza.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's sarcastic, guys.
Don't mess with your plus Valenza.
No,
I know he's sarcastic there, Albert. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Holy, thanks for explaining that, Albert.
Yeah, well, Daniel, if Arthur and Kulu are only signings, I mean, it's not enough, is it though?
No, that's not enough. As we stand, it's not enough.
Where are we going to get the money from, though? That's the only thing. Like, we need a right back. We need someone in the fullback position because the fullback position is wafer thin. We've seen that already. It was wafer thin when the season was just going along as normal. Never mind with COVID. And who knows what's going to happen the second half of this year? You can't predict a single thing. We could end up having the season put on pause again. And then we're right back at the 2 games every week, every 3 days or whatever it is. So we need to plan that way, and we need to get some fullbacks. That's the main thing for me, specifically a right back. I mean, we could get, I believe it's Pellegrini back from loan. So, I mean, he could cover and compete with Alexandro because, like, it's asking a lot to change several positions in this squad because we all know several positions do need addressed. Like, Khedira, I really felt for him. I think it was an Instagram post today. I really felt sorry for him, but he's done. He's far too injury prone and he's far too gone into his 30s.
That was basically his. He was desperate. He was desperate for not being cancelled, being terminated, basically. So that was. I could read it all over that. I could read that he was desperate to stay.
But I mean, like guys like Matuidi, Khedira, well, maybe not so much Matuidi because I believe he actually took a pay cut when he got his contract extended. So I commend that. He's not one of my favourite players, but you could maybe do with him for one season more because, I mean, who's going to come in for him?
Yeah, bench player. That's what you're saying. You need the bench players, to cover the last 10, 15 minutes. And to that point, Graham, as well, the fact is, Pellegrini, yeah, of course, it'd be fantastic to get Pellegrini and cover Sunday, but you know what's going to happen with Juve? They're going to use him as plus Valencia, and he's going to be gone. They're going to use him as a bargaining chip.
And then we'll be stuck with Mattia Di Chilio as left back.
Well, that's the thing. We got too many guys you can't do anything with because of all the shitty business we did before. Like, Khedira is going to be a contract termination. Bottom line.
It has to be.
Matuidi might end up in the same boat. You might get a fun deal there. Fucking Rugani, we should have jumped on whatever deal was offered any Mercado before. It was like sell. We didn't. De Chilio, who the hell is going to take De Chilio?
Barcelona for 10 mil.
PSG.
Those are crazy links. Someone's just having a laugh at those links, I'm telling you.
Could you imagine, guys? Barca player.
Come on.
Reminds me of Damian that got from Torino to Man United. Same bloody thing, you know? You never know. Strange.
God, no.
Listen, to Daniel's point, management in faith, I'm not so much in management because that's Ticci's job, isn't it? You know, that's Nedved and, well, mainly Mr. Paratici's job to do that. But I can see them. Pellegrini shipped out, and we desperately need to keep him, maybe. You know, go out for Theo Hernandez. Wow.
It's not faith in management, though. It's because, do I have faith in management they'll get this done? I don't see them actually logistically being able to, because we don't have the guys that we can move. So it's like, it's not a faith thing. It's I don't see them having the resources to solidify our squad as we should for the next season.
What about Higuain?
Yeah, what about him?
Who's buying him? The thing is, I've continuously said it. Where do we get the money from? Because there's no ticket revenue. There's been no ticket revenue since
MLS, man. That's the only thing we can hope for, is that his freaking MLS wants his brother. It wants the brothers united. Otherwise, I have no idea who that.
But that's actually a very good point, Graham. Because I'm thinking maybe Champions League is our ticket. If we are to win the Champions League, this is where actually the money may come from. Not much money, because they also lack huge revenues now, right?
Yeah.
But still, if we are, remember, Atalanta also in there. I think Napoli is also in there. So if they do progress, we get less. So, I mean, we potentially could be empty-handed if we get eliminated against Lyon and we have absolutely nothing to work with. So we will end up with the same guys. And if Higuain wants to stay, he will stay. It will be in the players in the players' court. Basically, they can decide what to do, not the club. And this is also very dangerous.
One thing's for sure, though. I reckon this will be Ronaldo's last season with us.
Yeah, no doubt. I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, listen. I know we all have our things and payroll and all that jazz, but let's enjoy it, guys. Let's enjoy it.
Antonio.
Woohoo.
Look at that.
Wow.
Welcome, Antonio, by the way. Yeah, 3-0. Well,
I like it. I like where your head's at.
Antonio James Tonda. I'll remember that name.
3-0. What do you guys think? Predictions for the Lyon game?
I'm going to be positive. 2-0 Juventus. Let's go 2-0.
RB says 3-1. Alberto.
2-0 Juve.
Why? Why are we so positive?
Because Dybala will be healthy and Dybala will play, and he's my son, and I taught him everything he fucking knows.
Used to be everyone's son. I'm gonna have to get a paternity test on that boy and Delic.
Well,
I have my son sitting in Belgium, and he's 12 years old, and he's not doing YouTube anymore. So,
Roman, 1-0 penalties.
Oh
Wow.
God, my heart's not going to take that.
I don't want to say. Wow, Ronaldo hat trick. I'm gonna say 1-1, and then we get out of this competition and be done with it. Unfortunately, but we'll see. Maybe I change my mind later this week. We'll see.
To Daniel's point, listen, Daniel. Look, I tell you, you can, and testament to this, Mister someone from Canada. Won't mention his name, but does this podcast called All Juve Cast. You know what I mean? Oh, it's banged on 2-0, 3-0. Well, yeah, 1-0, 2-0. And I said, man, you got to learn. You got to learn, son. We concede. And every time he's done a prediction, it's gone the other way. So trust me, listen to him. And
hey, every time, take it easy there, pal. We can rewind these.
Halfway to the season.
You're accurate here.
Stop halfway
Take it easy there. You might as well be a weatherman, for Christ's sake. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a good point. When was the last time Juve kept a clean sheet?
No, listen, I know, but guys, if Leon, but if Leon scores, guys,
4-1.
We need 3 goals. End of. So that's why I'm trying to be.
No, it'll be De Ligt and Bonucci. They'll get their heads right. I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Regarding scoring,
Regani stays far away from the pit. I don't even want him on the sidelines, because that threat of leaking a goal will somehow, that guy. No.
That's actually quite funny. That's actually very funny. Every time Juve players celebrate, I don't see them celebrating with Rugani. You know, he's just like the fifth wheel. You know.
Did you see that video of them walking through the tunnel singing Siamo Noi, and literally the whole team comes through, and then like here's just Rugani like 20 feet behind the whole team, just walking all by himself, and I'm like, yeah,
this was sad.
Well, you know why they're not celebrating with Rugani ever now, don't you? Because the last time they celebrated anything with Rugani, Matuidi and fucking Dybala got COVID.
One-line gems. There we go.
Hey, Antonio's got a good shout there with Castrovilli. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, Castrovilli. And by the way, Fiorentina, Ribéry got his ACL injury. He is back and still shining. And there was a comment here earlier about the ACL injury for Zaniolo, that he had a serious injury. I think it was Travis who commented it. But he's back. He's back and swimming, really. And Daniel, yes, he is king. We know that. We're just joking. We love him.
I think you meant queen. You meant to say queen.
Yeah.
Our queen.
I wish we were not. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
We're gonna do the next all Juve cast jersey giveaway, and it's gonna be a Rugani one. And I had a sense it's coming.
Good luck.
I won't be a part of it.
I won't even bloody promote that one. Bollocks to that.
Oh, guys. Heck.
All right. If you have any more questions, just ask us. If not, we'll round this up soon. We've been already 2 hours just flew by.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Thanks everybody who's been on this.
True. It was very fun. Daniel with another one. Vlahovic, Fiorentina. I've heard that he's a talented guy. I don't know much about him. Mr. Rubicon, very nice. Always present.
I'll answer this one because I've got a great one for this one. It's exactly, and Graham, back me up on this one. It's exactly the same thing that happens in the Premiership. English players overrated, right? Where they'll pay 40 million for Ake, a Bournemouth defender, and how much they paid for that one? Man City, they paid like peanuts for the other player. I can't remember the other player, but peanuts, right? I don't get it, right? I don't understand. In the Premiership, English players are overrated. In Italy, not overrated, overvalued. Sorry. In Italy, Italian players are overvalued. It's the stigma of the 90s football. You know, when you look back at the Baggios, the Rossis, the Dizovs, the Maldinis, you know, it's more, to me, it's more related historic to what they are now. But yeah, and the same with the Premiership. English players are so overrated, overvalued. Sorry.
Well, the simple reason is that they have to meet their home-based player criteria. They need a certain amount of Italian, home-based players in the squad, which is the same why, what's his name? Harry Maguire costs frickin' 70 million or whatever it was for Manchester United.
Yeah.
So that you're always going to have to pay over the odds for a home-based player.
Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, home-based players, simple.
But we pay what? 30, 35 for Bernardeschi?
40.
40. Yeah, 40 even. Yeah.
It was 40 for Berna, right? But yeah, again, it's how you evaluate the guys, and then a lot of it after the fact too is what you do with them when you do get them, and not factoring in Bernardeschi, but multiple players I could think of where Juve has done this, which is sometimes looking at the deal itself and saying this is a good market opportunity, but doesn't necessarily fit us on the pitch. And we've done that. We've done that quite a bit. And it's like there's this divide on how you're building your team sometimes, because sometimes it's just that market opportunity that you feel like you've jumped on when it doesn't necessarily make the most sense on the pitch. And you've left a couple other good deals sitting out there that might have been better for you in the long run.
And for the younger fans, for Juventus fans, historically, the romance between Juve and the Italian national team has always been there. Well, not of late, obviously, but that's obviously changed over a period of time now. Juve don't do that anymore, unfortunately. They don't do that. So it's not an obsession. I know Roman pointed out a few times about obsession of having Italian players, etc. But You know, that romance is now finished. That bridge is long gone. Sail ship. See you later now. It's done now. Funny, ironically, Merda have more Italian players than us. The irony of that.
Yeah, and we have this guys like Chiesa right there. There's a comment. Chiesa 70 million. It's not because I don't think it's because he's worth 70 million. I think this because Fiorentina value the guy that much, so that he is that important to them. So if they're gonna lose the guy, they will need to have 70 million in return in order to, well, facilitate the replacement or whatever. The 70 million for Chiesa is insane money, yes, and nobody, at least now after this COVID nonsense, nobody will pay that much. Well, maybe Man City because they just buy everybody. But,
that's crazy deal for him. Yeah. There's a lot of, and it's strange because you would think it'd be the opposite. And I thought, here we go into, you know, this pandemic market, and you'd think it'd be a good time to make some deals. But it's turning into the opposite, where some of these prices are just outrageous.
Yeah, I think, guys, I think Federico's nowhere. I personally think he's nowhere near his father of his level, Enrico. Nowhere near that level. So no.
Just like Kulusevski attacks the space and gives you the direct approach plus energy. Well, I don't think that Kulusevski is exactly direct. Well, not as direct as Chiesa, and both are playing on the left. On the right. So, yeah, we won't go for Chiesa in my opinion. I doubt it.
I did say that though, that the traits and the characteristics of Chiesa is what we need. It doesn't have to be him, but we need a player of that traits that's direct, that will attack space and get behind the lines, right?
Yeah.
Guys, just a quick shout out to, since you've got Antonio's questions coming up there now.
Yeah.
The answer to your earlier question is Stirling, the heart of Scotland. That's
sorry. There we go. Yeah.
Just wanted to answer that for him.
Antonio is the Boga from Sassuolo. We remember Boga is left winger, and I talked about this a while ago. If you want to have somebody on left wing, they better know that they will not play every single game, because where is he? I hit him somewhere. Yeah, Cristiano is there. That's why. Yeah, there we go, Graham. Because every time we are linked with the left winger, I gotta think to myself, are they content in sitting on the bench, not playing, because they know Cristiano will play every single minute? And with Sarri, for sure. Well, Zidane benched the guy, yes, but Sarri is not Zidane.
Yeah.
But they just Boga is a quality player, yeah, for sure.
Boga to me looks like more of a Napoli player, to be honest with you. So I reckon he'll be off Napoli.
That's where Sarri's from.
Yeah, exactly.
He's supposed to be having us playing like Napoli.
Mr. Rubicon, Juve has to do better with the job with the youth, I think.
Yeah, I think the only two youth products I can think of, and I might be wrong, are Marchisio and Giovinco.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of many more.
Don't forget Paolo De Sceglia.
Yeah, I think. Listen, guys. I think this youth system thing is the only team who actually tends to really do well is Ajax. The rest, all the other teams, guys, it's a struggle. Huh? I mean, if you look at Man City, plastic team, they've got that young guy. What's his name? Ben. What's his name? Graham Ben, midfielder. Ben. No. For Man City.
Foden.
Foden, right? So, but what my point is, guys, this unfortunately youth. It's a tough football's a tough game, man. To break the ranks, it's very hard, man. I mean, you look at Madrid. They go to South America with their punga knife, and Barcelona with their punga knife, and chop down all the bamboo, and all these young little players run out, carry out, and they pick them up and they cocoon them 100, 200 million buyer clause, and then they play them. If they do well, they do well. If they don't, well, you're shipped off anyway. And that's what they do. But in Europe, it's a bit different. We're a bit more civil. We don't go out with a punga knife and start chopping down bamboo shoots, for young players. It's unfortunate. Listen, I'm all up for. Listen, I played champ manager. We all played champ manager, and I used to ship out any player over 30. You're a goner. Everything is young. Everything is fast. Everything needs to go. But that's not champ manager. It's not the way the world runs, unfortunately. And youth, you're looking in the analogy of our world, our workspace. The youth, it's tough to get into a job. You have to build experience. When you build experience, you build a reputation. That's how it works. Youth players, and that's the same thing with football. It's very difficult, guys. There's one player we talked about, Zamiak, whatever his name is, right? He looked a bit feisty. He looked a bit tasty. But, Roma looked a bit normal. But I think the most of the team looked shit anyway. But, there might be a possibility. Rugani is a classic example.
Yeah.
Hey, Al, how many times have we given Rugani a chance?
Too many.
But that's the thing, though. It's keep the project moving. Keep them rolling. Why do we need to keep Rugani around? You could tell right away it ain't happening. Move on. Get some new youth in. Keep it fresh. Keep trying, right? And that's the thing is like to just say it doesn't work because we've hung on to Rugani for God knows how many goddamn years. That project should have been done long ago. So he is, and I'm in agreement here with Mr. Rubicon there. Yeah, we need to get better job of the youth. And speaking of Marquisio, speaking of even Chiellini, would those guys have had the opportunities given the scenario that we were in when they got those opportunities?
Well, yeah. Remember when it all started, right? Marquisio came to Asia when we were in the deep. We were in Serie B and started in Serie A the next season. So we were in no position to compete for the Scudetto. We were in no position to win today, right? So basically, he got that opportunity because we didn't have any players that were good enough, and then he raced through the ranks and was so on and so on. But the problem is right now is that we have an obligation, as big of a club as we've become, we have an obligation to win today. In order to facilitate our youth, we need to play our youth, right? But if we play our youth, we don't increase the quality. We decrease the quality, right? In the long term, we will increase it, maybe not. So this is why I think, unfortunately, Juve are just not built for the youth system right now. Because we have guys like Cristiano, we have guys like Pjanic, had Pjanic. We have guys like Dybala. No way a youngster could come in this side and play the full 90. We barely saw this in the last 3 or 4 games now. Sanimakia played 20 minutes and then just average 60 or 70 minutes against Roma. So it's just not good enough. And with Ajax, yes, I see that comment. Yes, the Ajax, and we know the Ajax are good enough, are great at recruiting youngsters, but they have that mentality, they have mentality from all the way from the young age. We don't have that.
It's all about balance. Again, it's all about balance.
And Rugani also, there's also a point with Rugani that he has stayed there on the bench, not because he wasn't good enough. Well, apparently he was, but Barzagli, Chiellini, Bonucci was there. No way he will go. I mean, even Benatia. We had other players. Övedes. We had guys like Övedes played there, and Rugani was still sitting on the bench. So
okay, but that's fine. But then when the deal comes in and
yes,
it's an offer there, move him.
Yes.
Keep it in, and then you don't know what you're gonna have. To have him there is a roster spot just sitting there, and it's like, okay, well, play him a bit here and there. If you get an offer, okay, we're gonna move him because we're never gonna use him anyways. Take the money, make your moves, continue to keep the team fresh, bring in another young guy, keep going. To just keep these guys locked in these positions and never play them and not keep it fresh and keep the wheels rolling, you're never going to know when you're going to hit a Marquisio or you're going to hit a Chiellini. And the only reason we found that out was, again, like you touched on, the scenario that we got into. If it was a typical Juve side, what would have happened is Marquisio probably would have played, somebody would have saw something in him, they would have got a decent deal, and we probably would have sold him.
He played for Empoli, right? At 38 games he played for Empoli, right?
The thing is also, with Sarri under the helm as well, remember, and who wanted him at Chelsea as well. So but Frabotta, he looked good, guys. I did like him.
But this comment right there from Rubicon there. We played a season with only one left back. That's what I don't understand. We are so dependent on the guys like De Sciglio and Danilo to covering up on the left back. This is why they didn't even think about Frabotta until last 3-4 games, because Danilo was there to cover up for Alexandro. De Sciglio was there to cover up for Alexandro. So why bother? So why do we even care? And Pellegrini, just let him ship him off. Let him play consistently for Cagliari. And that's, I can understand it. It's not logical, but I don't understand why they're doing it. That's because they think De Sciglio is there and Danilo is there to cover up for Alexandro. No problem.
Then you think about, you've got Bentancur now and you've got Muratore, who played okay, not the best, but he's getting game time, a bit of game time. But this is the scenario. If we didn't have Bentancur, would he play more Muratore, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the scenario.
Yeah. All right, let's see. The last one, gotta round it up here. It's probably reasonable to assume that they had injuries and not made it necessity. Demiral and Rabiot wouldn't have played as many minutes. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know about Rabiot, to be honest. I think Rabiot would have played anyway, because Khedira is constantly injured, and we all know about this, so it doesn't come to us as a shock. And Matthijs de Ligt is, well, yeah, you could. There is an argument there. If Chiellini didn't injure himself, would we've seen de Ligt?
I don't think Demiral would be anywhere near the starting 11 if Chiellini didn't get injured. Because Demiral's got to compete with 3 other centre backs, and he's going to be fourth in pecking order. Forget about Rugani. I'm not even talking about him. Rabiot, I don't think Rabiot would have got that many minutes because he was lacking match fitness from the get-go because he barely played for PSG, and we obviously saw that Khedira was going to be in the starting 11. So I think Rabiot and Demiral would have definitely suffered had we not had the bit of an injury crisis, pretty much.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then you get into a scenario like, so now all of a sudden Demiral doesn't get minutes. We know what he can do. We've seen what he can do. He gets maybe in a situation where some offers start coming. Well, there were offers. Maybe he says, well, I want to go somewhere I can play and get minutes. And then all of a sudden you lose out on this guy that has the potential to be one of your core spine players for many years to come. It's tough. That's why I talk about balance. You got to balance it. You just have to.
Well, the one thing I think we could possibly all agree on is next season, Chiellini is one of my favourite centre-backs ever. He needs to be a squad rotation player. You can't be playing every game, every week, especially when you've got Demiral and de Ligt there, and Bonucci. Let's throw his name in as well. So I don't think, especially with the injury record, you can't rely on Chiellini to be like the Chiellini from 5 years ago. He's injury prone now. No. So you got to give a decent amount of minutes to guys like Demiral and de Ligt. Because if, like you said, if they don't get playing time, they're just going to speak to their agent and say, I'm not getting minutes here. Get me a move out of here.
It's a shame Rugani can't do that, can he? Talk to his agent.
I don't think he has an agent. I think he just goes home and takes pictures with his girlfriend or whatever.
Instagram role in 2021, right next to Buffon and Pinsoglio.
Yeah, probably will be. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think
that's what it should be.
He should just come in and play against the lower sides and just offer guys rest and just be that guy. Just be.
I call it right now. It will be his last season. Next season will be his last season.
He's far too injury prone now.
Yeah,
I think so.
So that raises this like a final question before we finish up here. Who would you have as the captain then if Chiellini's on the bench for most of the games?
My son.
Leave it.
Paolo.
Yeah.
No.
Why? And on that note, we will sell Aubert to the same place where we ship off Khedira, Rugani, and Matuidi after this season. Guys, it's been a real pleasure. I see that we had quite a few views during this 2 hours and 2 digits as well, so it was pretty cool. we will for sure do this again. I think this was a success. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Alberto, of course. And guys, a bit of promotion, of course. On Friday, vital game, of course. Lyon. We are nervous. I'm nervous already. Yeah, and we will, of course, do the watch party. I can already reveal it. It will be 4 of us. It has to be, because we have so much fun. Hopefully, Graham will not be as far miles ahead of us.
No promises.
But yeah, it's been great fun.
And Roman,
thank you so much.
Thanks to all the guys as well that joined us on the
Yes, indeed. Travis, Rubicon, RB Coms, of course, Daniel, both Daniels, Antonio. Yeah, we had many guys, many comments there. So thank you so much for joining. And we will see you for the watch, or you will see us for the watch party, rather.
Hit like if your team won a 9th straight Scudetto. I like that, Rubicon.
Which one? Yeah. Hit like if your team won nice Scudetto. Yes, indeed. And retweet and subscribe to the La Panchina, of course. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Ciao.
Ciao.